I want you guys to imagine that the sky is red and the trees are purple. This seems a little unusual, right? But other than unusual, this change in the environment colors would actually feel different for us. This is because color is more than just a pretty characteristic. In fact, our brain has a deeper connection with color than we might think. So today, because I am an artist, naturally, I decided to dive into the world of science, art, and psychology, and I bring to you a discussion about how we see color, how color affects us, and what we associate different colors with. So without further ado, let's begin. First, I'm going to talk about how we see and process color. According to the American Association of Ophthalmology, the color we see is actually a reflection of the light that hits an object. How does this work? Well, we need to understand that light travels as waves through the air. These waves hit an object, interact with that object's particles, and then that object either absorbs or reflects it. The light that the object reflects is the light that we see. So then, this light interacts with cells in our eye called photoreceptors. Those photoreceptors convert the energy from the light into a chemical message that travels through the nerves and into our brain. So now, we're going to talk about the response that those chemical messages that come from color generate in our brain. So we're going to talk about a study from the Journal of Advances in Mind and Body Medicine, published in 2013. And this study found that upon projecting colored light, participants actually experienced a change in their autonomic nervous system. This system controls our bodily functions. So that means that color actually had an effect in our sympathetic nervous system, which is our fight and flight response, and in our parasympathetic nervous system, which controls our relaxation. Another important piece of evidence is a literature review from the journal Coloration Technology, published in 2017. And this journal actually explains that color can affect our hormone release, and our hormones regulate our emotions. But that's enough with the science. Now this is the fun part. I'm going to talk about the different meanings that we give to different colors. These meanings are derived from the different psychological and physiological effects that colors has on us, as well as some cultural and personal facts. We are going to start with red. Red is actually one of the strongest colors that there are, and it has a very strong psychological and physiological response because it appeals to our strongest physical and emotional needs. It's very effective in captivating attention. This is why stop signs are red, and why a lot of people decide to wear red on their first date. Now we have blue. This is also a very popular color. However, it's not as imposing as red, and it actually stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system. Blue calms us down. It's related to positive and emotional feelings, and our brain associates blue with knowledge, productivity, and authenticity. Pro tip, I recommend that if you guys want to increase your work ethic, you work in a blue environment. And also, take a guess why I'm wearing blue today. Next color is yellow. Yellow looks awful if you use it as a font. Please do not ever do that. Okay? But yellow is all about awareness and ideas. So when our brain sees yellow, it thinks about energy, activity, creativity, insight, and thinking. Next, we have green. Green When our brain sees green, it thinks of nature, freshness, life, health, spirituality, and peace. It calms us down. However, when it comes in darker shades, we actually associate it with things like envy or jealousy. All right, now we have orange. Orange is all about encouragement. So think optimism and confidence, although too much can indicate superficiality. Now on to purple. Purple is actually more rare, and its effects can actually vary depending on if the shade is a little more red or more blue. Purple is associated with imagination, fantasy, royalty, and quality. Moving on to brown. Brown actually has no major effects in our body, but this is why we associate it with familiarity, safety, and trust. So if you're ever unsure what colors to use, I would recommend you go for a brown palette. Now we have white. White is actually really hard to find, pure white. So that's why we associate it with perfection, purity, wholeness, and innocence. And last but not least, we have black. We like to associate black with formality, power,